Well, my son, Sean, was the strongest person I've ever met, but also the very weakest. I know everybody has said he was so strong, and in many ways he was, but I also saw him at his very weakest. And the fact that he lived with such severe mental illness and didn't completely crumble is a testament to his strength.
He was just a kind-hearted, generous, to me, he was happy when he was around, certain people he cared about. His laugh and his smile, for sure. Even though he hated it, but I told him every day, I told him something good about himself every day that I loved. And he was just one of a kind. One of the best, genuine souls you'll ever meet in your life. Yeah. He was a darling and a hugger, which I loved. Yeah. He was a teddy bear. That's what I compared him to.
Sean, to me, was one of the strongest individuals I've ever met. With everything that he struggled, he still enjoyed the times that he was actually not feeling terrible. He enjoyed, we'd go and watch Calgary Flames over, or a Toronto Blue Jays game over at the Coachman, and he would just enjoy that to the fullest. He was kind. He found the little things of joy in his life. He was, like I said already, he was very strong because I know the battles that he was fighting on a daily basis. He was generous. He absolutely adored his mom. He always said, some things about his mom that were very, I loved hearing them because I know his mom, but I also love that mother-son thing and how much he absolutely adored his mom. I think, those are the first words that pop in my head about Sean's characteristics. He could be very funny too. He made me laugh lots. I think that pretty much covers Sean, from my side anyway.
At first we met through pro wrestling. I started doing camera work and I didn't really know him that well, but it seemed like the character he portrayed was very upfront and kind of like a bruiser. So it was a little intimidating at first, and he had his tattoos and his black hair, and he's a pretty big guy, about 6'2". But that's probably the furthest from who he actually was, because he was genuine and a very comforting person, even though he was very uncomfortable at a lot of times, and caring, would literally give the shirt off his back just to make you feel good. And he took care of people when he could, but he was very overwhelmed with his anxiety to the point where it controlled his life. He enjoyed laughing and having a good time. He was funny. It was just a connection. And he absolutely loved his cats. Just absolutely adored them. They helped him out. It was basically like a therapy animal. It was hard to see, and it hurts seeing someone in such a hard situation. He did have support, especially from his mom, who's an absolute blessing. He couldn't have a better mom, and that's honest. And it did take a lot out of me, and I am affected by that because I really do miss him after his passing, and it was a struggle seeing him the way he was, and no one should have to go through that.
I don't know, when he would come and see me where I worked, he would be okay, but then there was days where he would text me or something and have a bad day. It was day by day kind of thing. On bad days, it affected him a lot. He was upset and depressed and stuff, which was hard to see, but yeah, just, it affected him a lot. He I don't want to say hid it very well, but he definitely composed himself, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It affected him a lot, but he talked about it, and I think that helped as well.
I, have seen I've worked with a lot of people that have mental health issues. That's my job. And I honestly can say that I've never ever met anyone that struggled with mental illness as much as Sean did. His panic disorder was so extreme. The poor man, he fought it every day. And he was a stellar man to fight that every day.
He died very suddenly of a cardiac arrest when he was 39. Unfortunately, the coroner's report said that he had an enormous heart defect, which probably was caused by years of anxiety attacks, which nobody caught that he had a such a major heart problem. So that is tough to live with for me. But I feel that I've been given the years that he did not live. I've been given those years to do something with and to make his life count for something other than just mental illness. And he was so generous with his time, with his kindness, his love. And so I want to, in his memory, be able to bring some joy to people like him. Most people with mental illness are very poor. A lot of them are on a government assistance, and they are extremely below the poverty line. And so little joys that we take for granted, they cannot afford. And that is exactly what I give to people like Sean was. So I'm hoping that this fund will grow, and that I'll be able to help more people just like Sean was. And he would be so excited if he knew what was being done in his memory, and I think he probably knows too. So yeah, I miss that kid so bad.
Sean was a very loving person, and he was very accepting and understanding of people's struggles, and he could adapt to hanging out with anybody, and he was genuinely an amazing friend. He was there for me a lot, and like I said before, I could talk to him about anything, and he was energetic when I first met him, and like full of hope and just looking forward to so much, just because he had a lot more people around him, and I could see that deteriorate, but he still had hope, and he really wanted the best for not only himself but his family and everybody around him. He laughed, and he still enjoyed his life even though through his struggles, but he's just a very nice guy. Like, I really loved spending time with him. He was just, the way he talked about his mom is just, he absolutely loved her and needed her, and she was there for him. And he's just really caring and Yeah, he was one of my best friends. And he would go out of his way to make sure I was okay. And yeah, we definitely connected on a lot of that stuff.
I miss Sean. I have a little file on my phone of pictures of him, and there's some of him and I, and some of the things that one day we went down to the weir and just enjoyed the nice day. I have pictures of his cats. I keep them special. I have some texts that I still keep, and I treasure all of those. It's Sean in a little file, and I will always treasure him and those memories, because he was one of my people that I worked with that really captured my heart. He really holds a special place in my heart, and he always will. So I truly miss him, and yeah, I think of him a lot. I guess one of the things that I would say is that our relationship, our working relationship, ended. It was kind of mutual, and maybe that's one thing I wish that maybe that we could have continued with that a lot longer. I don't know what we would have done different. I don't know what it would have accomplished, but I missed out on that year, I guess, before he passed away, that I wasn't in contact with him as much. And so I guess that's a little bit of a regret that I have, but you don't know what's around the corner. So yeah, but he was a wonderful, wonderful man, and I miss him dearly.
He opened my eyes to mental illness, and caring for someone like him made me a better person too, for sure. He was great. Hopefully he's resting in peace, that guy. He's, just missed. Got to meet his wonderful mother. he was, now I'm just thinking of like things, like jokes, and just wish he was still around. He actually was the highlight of my day when I was working. And he'll always be remembered, never be replaced. In a sense, he was my hero, because he just so smart, and like I knew he was struggling, but he carried on, because that's just the kind of person he was. And can't really say much more than miss him terribly.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him that he's not suffering. It brings me joy to know he's not suffering anymore. But I grieve for myself. I grieve for everything that I've missed out on.